Hey guys, this is Llandros, and it's time to go ahead and get those mods set up that we just actually installed. So if you watched the previous video, you should be ready to actually start your game up and get going. However, before you do anything and before you actually get to this point, too late, um, don't use a save that you've already been doing. Don't go into like your legacy game that you've been playing forever. Um, Take those games off and put them off to the side, or just start a new file somewhere and do a test run with your mods on a test file first. Get that thing going, and always make a backup copy of those other games, so in case something goes wrong, because it's a Sims. Things can go wrong. Okay, you at least have a backup. You're not going to get messed up with it. So, all right. So I loaded up Isla Paradiso just because I figured why not. I don't care. Anyway, it's the first one that actually shows up. All right, so the first thing I would do, and you guys know me, I would go in here. I've got my music turned off because I don't want to deal with copyright strikes and all that fun stuff. The first thing I would do is I'd go through and I would set up my town. Now, I used to make a master file, and I talked about that many times in the previous LPs. I found that that's probably not the most ideal thing to do, because if you start off with a game, if there's a glitch or something in that game for any reason, it's going to be in every one that you ever use. So I don't do the master file anymore. So now what I do is I work on my town and I get my venues exactly the way I like them. And I'm going to go over here into my community lots and show you. I got a whole bunch of things that I have actually saved. Now these are all venues that you'd find in different towns, but they've been modified and changed enough that I can use them. So like for example, Paradise Pub right here, which is typically a visitors allowed, it's kind of just a hangout. I've changed mine up quite a bit, so I've got it over here somewhere. I've got it in one of these. Let's see, and you can see I've actually got all of them are different types. Fusion Lounge. There it is. It's an exclusive lounge. So I've modified it with all the things I'd want. So what I would do is I just go ahead and delete this copy, put the one I want into the game, and that way I'm ready to actually get going, play around with it, and it's no big deal. Now I'm not going to set this town up because this is just a test game, so it's not really that big of a deal. But it's all right. Now I'm doing this as kind of a twofold process. This video is also going to kind of help you guys know what I've been doing to make Island Paradise work. So you're getting a 2-for-1 in this video. So if you want to make Island Paradise work, here's what you do. On Mod The Sims, there was a huge forum discussion about some issues with the routing, and apparently they took this town into create a world, which don't ask me how, I don't know. Anyway, they took it in there and they redid some of the pathing and they fixed a few of the lots. Now, you don't have to reinstall it. It's like 7 different files that you have to download or something like that, some crazy thing. And then you have to put them into your game. It sounds complicated, but it's not. Sim Guru Graham, who was one of the lead producers on this expansion pack, even recommended it. So when you see the person that actually was responsible for creating it and he recommended this as a fix, it tells you that you probably ought to actually give it a shot. I'll try to go back and find the forum and link it. If not, like I said, you can search for it by just looking at Mod The Sims. Do a search for a reroute of Isla Paradiso. I don't know. I'll try to find it, and then I can put it right here in the thing. Anyway, the instructions are very simple. You just follow it exactly as it states. And what I noticed when I did that, it didn't fix it. It didn't do it. And I was like, it's not really making any big difference. So they also detailed the things that they did. And it really isn't anything. You don't have to install those files if you don't want. There's certain lots, and one of the key ones that they talked about was this lot right here, which is the castle from the Itaka. I don't know how to say their name. Anyway, their lot is a nightmare. It's a mess. And then there's a port. I don't remember which one, but you have to kind of do some rearranging, and they've done that for you if you download those files. If you don't want to download those files and reinstall, just follow their instructions for going lot by lot, and they'll show you exactly which lots you need to alter to fix it. Okay, so follow their suggestions, and it'll get you halfway. I'm not going to lie. It doesn't get you all the way there. Here's what you're going to have to do to get started. Go right over here to this house right here. No, I'm back. I'm lost. This house right here. The Medinas. Now take the Medinas. Go ahead and click on them. Yeah, it's a man and his daughter. And we are going to go ahead and we're just going to evict him out. Just move him out by himself with his daughter. Trust me, this is critical. And then go over here with the bulldozing tool and take this house and destroy it. I'm not lying. Destroy it, demolish it. You will thank me for it a million times over. Now, you got them over here. You haven't gotten rid of them from the game, but you got rid of their house. And now we're going to put them, and this house right next to them, pretty close, is actually kind of comparable in price and in size. So I'm going to go ahead and let them go there. And that puts them back in the town. Now you can build a new house if you want to here, or you can put one from your game if you've got one downloaded, or if you got one in the bin you like, or you can do like I do and turn this into a community lot. You got a nice 30 by 30 lot, and it's flat, and you can use it for something else. So, option one. But the main thing, you can try to fix that house, but I'm going to tell you right now, you're better off just destroying it. Okay, the next one you're going to have to do is you're going to have to come back over here. And again, I always get confused where I'm at. This right here is the prince, and he definitely is a prince. This is Rubicel, and Rubicel, he's got to get evicted too. Rubicel is a nightmare in this game. If you do not do this, he will drive you nuts. What I do is I go ahead. There's probably not a whole lot that you can change with this. Yeah, you can go in and fix it if you want, but I go ahead and I take out this entire houseboat. I just get rid of it. You're going to be very happy when you do. Get rid of it. Get rid of the houseboat tool or thing that's on the end of the port, and you should be fine. Now, there's a few houseboats that come in the bin that you can actually pop in and use in place, but what I would do is I just move right over here. There's a nice little 3-bedroom, which is, again, it's comparable to what he had both in size and in price, and so he's going to go on the floating fortress, and he'll be good. Okay. He's not the only. Those are not the only ones you got to do some moving to. You want to talk about a nightmare house? The Los Amigos boys gotta do the same thing. Got to get rid of these guys. Keep the guys. Get rid of the house. But we're gonna pull them out. And the poor guys, they're gonna get relocated across on the same island they're at, and it looks like a house for a family. But that's where they're going. Now, this one, don't even mess with it. Don't even try. Get rid of this house. Trust me on this, you do not want this house in your game. Just get rid of it. Now you've got another lot over here. You can build something if you want. If you're a really nice builder or you like to build, have fun, build a house. I would not build it on stilts. I'm going to give you a heads up. That's what caused a lot of your issues. Okay, that is primarily the main thing you have to do. That's it. The other thing, like I said, if you don't want to reinstall all those files and make that new version of it, you'll have to make a couple of changes to these guys, which means you're just going to come over here. You're going to evict them. And let me see if I can actually... Oh, wait. No, mine's the updated version, so it wouldn't actually show you. Anyway, it's their front entrance. That's the main thing. You're going to have to do a couple of settings, a couple of changes on it, and that site will walk you right through it. And then there's another one. I think they were talking about the Medina house and how to fix it, and I say just get rid of it, because even once you fix it, it still is a nightmare. So just go ahead and just get rid of that house. You're good. You've got everything set up. This is exactly what you need. You should be fine to go. So that takes care of how I got Island Paradise to work for me. I hope it works for you. That coupled with the fact that I'm using Overwatch, and basically that'll cover it. Also register. You definitely want register so you can get rid of the horses, because I had all 3 horses on a houseboat. It was hysterical, and they were like just standing there saying, please help me get out. Couldn't do anything for them. All right, so that takes care of that. Now we got Island Paradise working. Hopefully, if you guys have great luck with it, I will feel good and happy in my heart that I helped you. If not, I can't help you. I can't really do anything for you. That's all I can do. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start by creating... Actually, no, let's just move somebody in. And I believe Josh is... This is the guy I've been using over and over and over while I've been down. And I'm going to go ahead and take Josh again. He's going to be my example sim. And you guys know I always start with You're on a Boat. This is a nice little houseboat. From Isla Paradiso, and we're going to go ahead and pop in with Josh as he moves in the very first day. Now, you got to do this in the very beginning, because if you don't, you're going to be regretting it. So, all right, first thing that pops up, you've got story progression pulled in here. If you decide to go ahead and run it, you're going to go ahead and click the check mark. If you want to wait and do it maybe later, you do the X. I'm going to tell you right now, I go ahead and run it, but I can't go a step further before I make some changes. So I'm going to say, yeah, let's go ahead and have it run. And it says we've aged. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I've changed the age spans, so I'm going to change it back eventually. But I'm going to let it go ahead and keep what it's got. What that means is I'm not working on a 90-day lifespan. I actually slid the sliders out a little bit, and kind of modified it, tweaked it the way I like it. So anyway, just for my practice games. All right, we're going to get one more pop-up in just a second, which is this one right here. That's going to want to run out all the homeless people. I don't know the consequences. I don't know the good and the bad on this one. I just say, fine, go ahead and do it. And then we're going to go ahead. Yeah, we get this from university. And then I'm going to go ahead and just stop the game, because if you don't, things are going to get crazy really quick. Not immediately quick, but quick enough. Okay, you get these little messages that tell you that that's what you did. You're good to this point. So here, as you can see, here's Josh. Now you guys know that the way EA works it, sometimes you pop the sim in there and they'll start off like Josh did, and he'll have his whole lifespan. Now he's got 42 days. So let's go in here. Let's go in here first. And because we're playing in Island Paradise, yeah, you can see all my settings. I got them all on full. So you can play this game all on full. Yeah, I got everything on mute just because no copyright strikes. Okay, as far as these guys, take pets and horses off if you're playing in this world. Other worlds, don't worry about it. The rest of this, I don't mind. As far as the weather, I'm going to get rid of everything. We're just going to have eternal summer, so it doesn't really matter. We definitely don't want snow, and the rest of this is fine. There was something else I was going to do, and it is this one right here. We're going to just go ahead and take this thing back to 90, and hopefully that didn't mess me up. Nope, it didn't. All right, so we're back to 90. Make sure that my settings didn't change. Good deal. Okay, so now the story progression will probably pop up again and ask me if I want to adjust it as well. And I'll just click the X and say, yeah, sure, why not? Okay, so let's say that he came up, and as we see him, let's say that he did not have the full 21 days. Okay, it happens. But you want him to start off with 21 days. Well, it's real easy to fix him before you get going. Click on him, click on NRAS, that's your mod screen pop-up menu. Go to MasterConroller, head on down to Intermediate, look for Age Absolute, and tell him you want him to be on day 0. You could go any day you want. You could actually get him, let's say you'd been playing the game a while and it crashed after 2 weeks and you want to get him back where he was. You can put him at 14. He'll be back at 2 weeks old. And you can change all of his skill traits and everything. So let's just go ahead and take a look at that. You want to change this guy up. You're deciding, okay, my game crashed. Or maybe I've played this so many times and I don't want to go through the whole hassle of trying to level him up in certain skills. I want him to come in here and I want him to start a certain way. MasterConroller is your friend because it'll do that for you. Drop into Advanced. And then you can go over here and you can just start looking at traits. And you can set the traits for whatever you want. You can give him a graduation trait from university and a social trait for the social groups if you want. So it's pretty cool. But you also really want to do your skills. So let's go over here to skill level. And here is all the different skills you can learn in the game. So if you are trying to figure out, okay, what kind of skills should I be working on? Maybe I haven't done in a long time or I haven't tried. Here they are. They're all in here, and some of them that don't have a picture, they're the hidden skills, so don't worry about it. But you can see, this is where they're all, where he's starting. He's starting at -1 on everything because he hasn't learned anything. He doesn't know anything at all. But let's just say that, I want him to start, and I want him to have, let's see, social networking. That's my favorite. I want him to start with social networking. But I don't really want him to be, I want him to be a level 10. I want him to have that skill so we don't have to worry about it. So the first thing it is, it's going to pop up and tell you, what range do you want? Do you want him at a level 1, 2, all the way up to level 10? And I'm generous. I'm telling him, Josh, you're going to be a level 10. Now, instantly, you're going to get all the little pop-ups that just say that he's actually mastered the skill. So you can actually see it all. And it's all set up for you. You now have level 10 social networking. You're done. Like I said, the game crashed and you want to go back and recreate what you had, this will get you there. Go over here, you can already see he's right there. Now it does not do the challenges, so you'll still have to go back and do the challenges on your own. It's okay. I mean, it's not great. There may be a way to do it. I haven't found it yet, but at least that gets you that point. So I feel like that's pretty good. All right, so we got him set up. We got his age back where he wants it. We got skills the way we want it. We got traits that we want to adjust. You know what, my poor guy, maybe I want to do something different. Maybe I want to actually have this guy with a degree. And you would go into, I believe it's in Intermediate, it's not Advanced. Go into Intermediate. I want this guy to have a degree from university, but I don't want to spend all the time going over to university, going to classes and all that fun stuff. So here you go. You go ahead and you tell him, go to Intermediate, go to Career, go to Academic degree and tell him which one you want. So you can actually give him all of them if you want. This poor guy, let's go ahead and give him physical education. And what I'm going to do is, it says enter the number of credits to apply to his degree from 0 to 8. Well, if you give him just a 1, he's going to come out of there with a bad grade. So you want to give him an A, just give him an 8. And once you do that, you go over here and you're going to take a look at his degree. He's got his physical education degree. He's got an 8. Now, he doesn't have the trait, but as I showed you before, when you go in, you can actually give him that trait if you wanted to. Just go in here, and I believe it was intermediate. I have to go back and forth all the time. Nope, it was under advanced. So you kind of have to get used to where things are. Go back to traits and tell him, you know what, he got a graduation trait. I'm going to give him one, and let's just pick something for him. I really don't care which one we pick. Let's just make him charismatic just because it was there. And so now, as you can see, it popped up. He's got that trait. This will save you time, especially if you make YouTube videos, you make LPs, or if you lost that game that you just absolutely loved and adored and you really don't want to start over the whole thing. This is your friend. It will help you get right back where you were. And yeah, it's a little bit of clicking and taking time to do it, but it's better than having to start over from scratch. So at least that's my opinion. Alright, so that kind of takes care of some of the basics. There's a lot of other things that MasterConroller does, as you can see. I mean, of course, it has 3 different screens for just the sim himself. You can actually do all of these different things. You can force an opportunity. Let's say that you are over here, and it takes a while for it to read it, and it'll tell you all the different opportunities you can get. Now, I believe you have to have generations installed for most of them, or for some of them, or maybe for all of them. I don't know. I've got everything, so it doesn't matter. But you can just go ahead. Anything that's repeatable, of course, you can do it at any time. But if you click on it, it should actually go ahead and give you that opportunity, and then you'll actually have something to work on. But I'm not going to do that for him right now. You can actually change a lot of different things. Also, there's mermaids here in the town that you'll see without scales, and it's real easy to fix them. What you'll have to do is you'll have to go in. You do it just right here. When you find a mermaid and they don't have their tail, you click on the mermaid, click right here into MasterConroller under Basic, and it'll give you an option, change scale color. You go ahead and click it, and it's going to instantly take you into create a sim with the mermaid, where you can change their scale colors, and they're probably not going to have scales on them. That's okay. Just let it pop up, click the little check mark, and let them go back. And then when you come back into the game, they're still not going to have a tail. So you go back, you click on them again, and this time you're going to click down on this thing that says Outfit, and you're going to look for something that says Special 1. And when you see it, you click it, click OK, and instantly you'll go back into the game. The mermaid, give a couple of seconds, will automatically flip into their tail. It'll just magically appear. So it's great because I'm having that issue, and once I found out that that's how you fix it, it's no big deal. Nothing at all. Alright, so again, MasterConroller, you've got all kinds of different things you can do here. This is all under Basic, but again, let's see, let me go, I don't want to click that one, I'll click this one. Again, you've got all these different options here. You can actually just see different things that you like. No big deal. Okay, before we actually start changing the story progression, I'm going to go up into map view and show you something. Do you see what I see? Okay, this is annoying. And this is because one of the mods that we put in, you see everybody's face. I don't want to see everybody's face. I don't like it. I'm kind of confused. I can't find my own guy. So let's go ahead and get rid of them first. And what we're going to do is we're going to go into our mods menu screen. We're going to go into story progression. And this time we're going to go under Sim Options. Or did we not? No, Town Options, I believe. I think it's Town Options. Let's go look at Town Options first. New, or it's General. See, I have to go back and forth every single time. You guys are probably screaming at me. It's Options Sims. Okay, so it's General Options, then Options Sims. I knew where I was trying to go, so I know it by what I see. See where it says Show Map Tags, and right now it says All. We don't want that. So what we want is none. And you may think, oh, wait a minute, I want me. Don't worry. You're fine. Just go ahead and say none. And then go ahead and click on through, and of course that just shows you what you just clicked. Now if I go back up into Town View, haha, they're gone. We don't have to see them, and so that's fine. Now you'll still get to see, this is part of what the mod does, you'll still see who else is inside, which of course you already saw, but you don't know these people yet, so we'll get there. Okay, so that is like your first thing that you're going to want to do, just because, let me tell you, that is an annoying thing to deal with. Okay, let's go ahead and do just a few basics and get this thing set up so we can start moving. Go into general options. Now, it's up to you, but if we go down under options romance, this is a big one for me. Um, Not options romance. What am I thinking? No, 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 no. It is not this one. It is, I think it's town options. I think it is. Yeah, it's town options. See, I go back and forth. Once I see it, I know what I'm looking for, but it takes me a while. Go all the way down over here to romance marriage name. Now, I showed you guys this in the previous video of setting up story progression. I don't like hyphenated names because I get confused. And I know it's supposed to be they take the female's last name and then they attach the male's at the end so you can kind of see the family tree. I don't want that. I want it to be more like what I'm used to, the traditional. I want them to just take the husband's name. Or you can take the wife's name. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to go ahead and say that yes, I'm going to change that. I'm also going to do the same thing for the same sex couples. I'm going to change that as well because I don't want the hyphenated name. So you go ahead and click it, say yes. The first one says on a marriage name, you want husband's name. There you go. And it sets up. Now for same sex, I used to do coin flip. Don't do that. Don't do it because then you might get a hyphenated name. What you want to do is just go ahead and pick either older or younger. I don't care. I just say, all right, older, let's give you a privilege. So you get that one. And that will take care of those two things right there. Okay. And I know I could be clicking it multiple things, but I'm just showing you any changes you make. You'll see exactly what changes you did, and they are right there. Okay, let's see if there's anything else that's major that I want to actually do out of story progression. Okay, I'm not really playing with the cast system, so I'm not going to mess with that. Lot options, this is something that if you want to do you can actually set it up to where they can have a certain amount of humans, certain amount of pets, whatever you want to do. That's fine. This is what I like right here under lot options. You need to click on a house. I'm going to go ahead and show you one. Let's say that you're like me and you have in every town, you've got at least either one house or a houseboat or something that you just absolutely love and you don't want story progression to take it away from you. You want to actually save it for you for later. Well, you guys know me. This is the one that I like. So it's empty right now, but if you let story progression go, trust me, somebody's going to move into it. Let's just go ahead and click on the houseboat itself or the house, not the sim. Click on the object, which is the house, go into story progression, and then we want to look at lot options. And the first thing I want to do is it says allow this lot for progression. If you leave it like this, then that means anybody who wants to buy it, they can buy it, and the computer may take over and take it. I'm going to say no. Let's turn that false because now this one, story progression will never take it. It'll be available to me whenever I can afford it, and so I'm not going to worry about it. Also, if you know that there's a house that you only want so many humans in it or so many pets, you can do that. But you can do that on a town level as well. So now we're set. I don't have to worry about my house being sold out from under me, and I will have it when I'm ready for it. So I'm happy about that. I'm happy to go. But it kind of takes you playing the game and knowing which houses you like and which ones are vacant. So it's kind of up to you. All right, so let's see. Going back into story progression, let's take a look at something that it would be a general options. Okay, now right now you're set up to get everybody's story in the town, and you're going to get tons of pop-ups. If you've never played the world before and you want to get to know the Sims, it's a great way to get to know who's in the town and to see what kind of happens, to the people that you're not controlling. I don't mind doing it, but again, it's going to get annoying seeing all these pop-ups all the time. So if that's something you like, leave it as it is. But if you don't like it, go ahead and change it. And decide whose story do you want to follow. Do you want to follow just your blood relatives? Do you want to follow all your friends? Do you want to follow your enemies? Whatever you want. But blood and friends are pretty much the most common. So I'm going to say, yeah, we're going to do that. And you're going to notice it's now going to say you're going to start doing this on a custom story level. Do you want to proceed? Absolutely. You can always go back and change it. So let's say that you decide later on you want to follow everybody's story. So you go back in here, click on all. It's going to tell you that you've just changed it to all and it's back to where it was. So it's really up to you how you want to do that. Entirely your choice. Okay, now if you look at options for households, here you can actually kind of look at different things. I don't really change any of this. I don't change it all. There's a lot of stuff you can do. You can tweak it any way you like, but I don't really mess with any of it. You can look at the options on the Sims and see what you want to do. Again, I don't really change too much of this. I just kind of leave it alone. You can change the ratio of the occults in here. You can do all these different things. It's just entirely up to you. You just have to kind of take the time to look and see what you like and what you don't like. Let's see, romance. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't change this one. I did at one time, but this is the one where if you start the game with story progression, these people are going to move pretty quickly. There's ways to fix that, and you can kind of cool these things down. You can actually slow it down quite a bit. I don't know too much. I kind of let it go. I let it go as it is. So I'm not really too concerned about it. If we want somebody, we'll break them up. It's just the way it is. Okay, so you got a whole bunch of other options you can do. Again, it's up to you to kind of go through and decide what you want to do and what you don't want to do. All right. Now, if you go into more specifics like sim options or town options, you get a whole bunch of other things right here. Now, this is, let's see, where's it at? Household size. Right now, your setup, your maximum size for your town is to have 8. And for pets, the maximum is 6. Now, of course, they're not going to have any more than 10 all total. You can change that. If you want to have no pets in the town, you can change that right here. So let's say that I don't want pets in Isla Paradiso because you know what? It's going to be a bit much. So you enter the maximum number of pets that we can stuff into a given family. None. And now I don't have to worry about a whole bunch of pets slowing my game down. Trust me, in Isla Paradiso, you want to fix that. So you want to make sure you don't have it. Okay. You can change your pregnancy stuff. You can change all this if you want. This right here, the base number of pets, I'm going to change that from 1. I don't really want every sim to have a pet. That's a bit much. I don't want any sims to have a pet here. So I'm going to go ahead and just say no pets. If I want pets to play with pets, I'll have it in my household. We'll be the only unique ones in the town. But I don't want any of the sims to actually have a pet. It just makes it easier for me. Base number of children. If you want your population to continue to grow, they're going to try to have at least 3 kids for every family that's in your town, which means you're going to have a pretty big town eventually. So it's there. You can change that. You can drop it down to 2 if you want to just kind of keep it a little bit more subtle, or just drop it down to 1 if you know that it's like Isla Paradiso and the houses aren't very big. You may not want large families because they're all going to have to go somewhere, and no telling where they're going to show up. So there's options there for you to do. It's entirely up to you what you want to do. Okay, the rest of this, pretty much it's self-explanatory. You just kind of look to see what you want to do. It really is, it's very simple, but like I said, it just takes time for you to sit down and read and decide what you want. Okay, if you want to make just one of the motives static, let's say that you are playing a game and you don't mind everything else, but you just hate having to stop and eat or go to the bathroom or whatever, you can just turn hunger on static. But everything else will continue to decline just like it would normally. And it's pretty cool. I mean, you could do that if you just know that you're sick and tired of dealing with social. Maybe you're playing Isle of the Midnight Sun and you don't want to have to deal with that social element since there's nobody there. You can just make their needs static on that, and then they don't have to worry about it. So it's entirely up to you, but it doesn't have to be every need static. It can just be 1 or 2 or, however many you want. Okay, so that just gives you kind of an overview of some of the things you can do. There's so much more. There's a lot of stuff that you can tweak and make it just to where you like. It's just kind of a fun thing to do. All right, death, allow aging. I believe that means that your ghost will continue to age. I'm assuming. I don't know. I have no idea. I think ghosts age anyway, but, it's up to you. All right, so anyway, that's basically what I was going to show you for town options. Going back, you also have something very similar that looks like that on sim options, and it doesn't have everything, but household to allow them to move as a family means that they can move as a family from one house to the next. Pretty simple. Right now it's set up that yes, they can. So if they find a need, that's great. But if you are so used to playing in a town and you want that same family to always be in that house, turn this to false, and then they're going to stay right where they are. So I just kind of like the unpredictability of it. So I say, go ahead, move wherever you want to move. It doesn't matter to me. Base number of children, there you go. It should be set up right now at 3. You can change it however you want. It's no big deal. Okay, other than that, I think we're pretty good on the rest of this. Again, you can change things up as you like. It's entirely up to you. Um, this is all just directed towards the sim. This is not directed towards everybody in the town. Because if you did the other one, when you're on the other one and you change their motives, that means everybody's social would stay static. This one would just be the sims in your household. So, this is more for you. The other one is for everybody. And I don't want everybody actually having their motive static. So we'll leave it alone. Immigrant options I don't really mess with. It's going to actually go down here and you'll see they're going to do the same thing as what you set up earlier. They're going to take the husband's name for regular marriage, same-sex marriage. They'll take the older person's name. I just leave everything alone. I don't mess with it. I don't change it. I just leave it as it is. So that kind of takes care of the basics of what I set up in the beginning. There's a lot of other stuff and a lot of people go crazy on it. I don't. But we're not done. Let's go up into map view, and what you want to do in whatever town you're in, you want to look for City Hall. So hopefully you can find it. Alright, so here's City Hall up here, and we're going to click on it, and you're going to notice that you're going to get another NRAS site, NRAS menu option. When you click it, now you're going to get a few more options, because before we didn't get all these. We didn't get Shoeless, we didn't get Register, and we didn't get Traveler. So now we've got them here. Traveler will not work in your world until you have saved it at least one time. So once you get started, save your game, and then Traveler will work for you. But right now, it's kind of like it's a dead mod. So until you actually save your game, it's not going to do anything for you. Let's first start off with Register. Actually, no, let's start with Shoeless. Okay, right now, just tells you the version. Right now, there's privacy, which is on, which means that if somebody wants to come into the bathroom and you're there, you're going to have to shoo them out. Well, let's just turn that off. And it should have gone ahead and shown me. Probably didn't. But if you go back in here into the mod again and you look at Shoeless, now privacy is off. So they don't have to have privacy. So you're good. You're set up. And that's the only thing you're ever going to have to do to tweak that mod. Let's look at Register. And Register, what we're going to do here, do we want immigration? Sure. People can come into my town all they want. I don't care about tourists coming. That's fine. But I'm playing with celebrities, but I'm sick and tired of paparazzi. So I'm going to get rid of them. And so do I want to allow them? No. I want them out. And if there's any in the town, I want to remove them. And it's probably going to tell me that there's none available. So I'm going to go ahead and say yes to that. And I guarantee you it's going to say there's nobody in there because it hasn't set anybody up as a paparazzi yet. So we're good for that. Alright, let's go back in again and let's look at Register one more time. In Isla Paradiso, I don't want horses and I don't want all these stray animals. So we're going to go to Animal Control and we're going to go ahead and tell it, you know what? I know you want to give me 3 deer, but I don't want any. And here, I know you want raccoons. I want none of these animals whatsoever. And so we're going to do this. Now you may be saying, but Llandros, this takes forever. There's a lot to it. I'm going to show you that you're only going to ever have to do this once. So once you do it one time, you'll never do it again. Unless you want to tweak something. But right now, let's just get it all set up for the basic setup that you want. Okay, so now we have no animals that are going to be in this town. I can go back and change it anytime I want, but I'm good. And I'm going to look one more time at Register just to make sure, did I miss anything I wanted? No, I'm pretty good. I'm happy with the rest of this. I think the rest of this is fine. I do this every time. I just hit apply. I don't know if it actually does anything, but I hit it every single time. But that takes care of the Register mod. So we've done all that. Now you may be thinking, Llandros, you didn't talk about the Woohooer mod at all. Well, I didn't. And let's go in here. Do I really want to go into this? It does some of the same things. Most of the stuff, you don't have to worry about it. It's just kind of set up on its own. You can do the teen pregnancy and all that if you want to. I'm not going to, since I'm not trying to advocate that or anything. So I'm just going to say, play around with that one if you like. I just like it because it does offer you a few options. So I'm going to leave it alone. Now let's look at Traveler. Okay, Traveler is a fun mod. This is one that I would change. This is the only one I would go and change if I go to the countries. Now, when you go to the countries, they don't have a city hall. Click on the base camp, and you'll get these same menu buttons. But when you get there, it's already going to be set up to enable seasons, and this is what's going to give you snow and everything in China. It's going to give you all the different seasons. If you want to get rid of that, once you're there, click on enable seasons and make it false, and then the seasons will stay as summer. So still be kind of hot for them, but it's okay. um, Allowable travelers, it's fine, I don't worry with that. Allowing to spawn the weatherstone, if you don't want the weatherstone popping up in your towns, then all you have to do is just turn this false. Now you missed the first one, so there's obviously one here, but you can delete it and then it won't ever show up again. So if you just get tired of seeing it, just disallow it. Ageless foreign sims. Okay, here's all the different country or worlds that I have installed. Right now, as I go to them, once I actually go to them one time, their aging clock starts. So if I go to Egypt, the clock starts for all the people living in Egypt. And if I wait 6 weeks later into the game and go back, 6 weeks will have passed with them, and you'll have a lot of those people die. Well, right now, that's how it's set up. But let's say I don't want them to age, and I want them to be the same people when I go back in 6 weeks, because I don't really care about those people and tracking them. Then I just go ahead and turn it from false and turn it into true. To do that, you just click one like Al Samhara, you click it. Now you've got one of your countries set up. Only one of them will have ageless foreign sims, and that would be Al Samhara. If you want to do more than that, you can click as many. You can pick whichever ones you want and do it that way. Okay. Now I'm not going to actually do that because it's not really what I want. In fact, I'm going to turn this back so that they're all the same. All right, so right now I don't have any foreign sims. All right, hidden worlds. If you don't want any of your worlds to show up as an option, let's say that you only want maybe 5 different worlds to show up as your options, then you can actually just choose which ones you want to disable. And so right now, none of them are hidden, but you could hide all of them, or you could hide just a handful. I don't know why you'd hide all of them, but there's your option. University term length, I'd be very careful when you play around with that. You can change it any way you like, but again, be careful. You can change the amount of money it's going to cost you to travel every day to these other places. It does not change China, France, and Egypt, but it'll change the other ones, so it's entirely up to you. Prompting to save, that means before you travel, you'll get a prompt that says, save your game. And it's just kind of a good reminder that if something happens in the travel process, you've saved, so you're fine. And it'll tell you not just to save your game, but it'll give you an option to change the name, so you can do a save as. So it's nice to leave that on and leave it true. Otherwise, no telling. Okay, so basically that kind of takes care of Traveler and what it's going to do and what you need to do. And so that's pretty much what we need. Okay, so you're kind of good, everything's working, everything's fine, you like the mods that you've selected, you've read through, you've changed what you wanted. Let's say you've been playing the game for a while and the game's going crazy and you're like, I just need to reset everybody, I just want this done. You can't do it from clicking your sim, you got to do it from City Hall. Or you can do it from the computer too. But anyway, go to City Hall or to the computer, and you want to get this MasterConroller. It's not the same one you get when you click on your sim. It has pretty much all of it, but you want to go ahead and you want to look at the town and you want to reset everything. This will reset every sim, every object, you name it. It just sends everything into a complete and total safer state. So if you're having a lot of issues, you got a whole lot of lag or something building up, hit reset everything. It'll bring everybody back to a safe place and you're ready to move on. Manage the Dead's pretty cool because anybody that dies, you can actually go and grab their tombstone from the cemetery. I thought it was an EA thing. I didn't realize it was a mod thing. So it's pretty cool. But anyway, that's the way to do it. And let's say you just want to be mean and you want to kill everybody in the town. You can do total annihilation. Be careful because these things you can't reverse unless you just exit the game and don't save. So anyway, that's an option to you. But that's where you get that reset of everything. When it does it, you're going to reset 15,000 things. I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. It'll be like 15,000 objects have been reset. So it takes a little while. Not that long, but it takes a little while for you to do it. Again, you can get settings at this level. You can look at them, decide if there's anything that you wanted to change. If there is, great. If not, okay. All right. One other thing. Let's say you're in World Adventures, and if you'll notice, let's see, I think you can do it from here. You have to be in the countries, and I'm not going to go into the countries to do that. If you don't want the NRAS thing to show up, the little asterisks all over the walls, because with World Adventures you're going to have to actually use the asterisks. You go in here into story progression and you go into lot options, and I don't think you can do it from here. No, you can't do it from here. Let's see, can you do it from general options, options, lots? Yeah, general options, options, lots. And then you want to go over here to show menu interactions, turn it false. Once you do that, then you won't have that that NRAS, the little asterisk going everywhere you go. When you get to the countries, all you have to do is go into your first tomb, click on a wall, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And the first thing you're going to do is just go ahead and do that. And it'll take care of that to where you don't get this, because when you're on the tombs you're waiting to see if it turns into an asterisk, and you don't want that. So right here, of course, it's your house, so it's always going to do that. It's no big deal. Alright, so now you say, okay, I'm happy, we got all of our settings done, I like it, but Llandros, I don't want to do this every single time. I hate it. It's too much stuff to actually mess with. Alright, well, let's fix that. So what we're going to do, and before we do that, let me go into Edit Town real quick. Edit Town. And make sure, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Let's cancel it out. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to set it up so we never have to do it again. Unless we change some things, then we'll have to change it. And what we want to do is go into story progression. Okay, look at general options. And I want you to look right down here where it says export settings, import settings. Okay, we're going to export these settings. Everything that we just did, we're going to save it, and we're going to call it whatever we want to call it. So you think about a title or think about something. I'm going to just call it basic setup. So I know that when I do this, this is my basic setup. Apply all these changes to my basic town. That way I can go in and tweak it later, but I don't want to have to do this every single time. So there we go. And it says, all right, it's already been existing in mine. That's fine. Or delete the original. I don't want to. See, I've already got it in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just leave it as the default as save settings so I can show it to you. So we're going to go ahead and say save settings. And now it's exported those savings. And you may say, well, that's great, but where's it at? So let's go find them. And to do that, go into Edit Town. Just continue. I know I'm going way too long, aren't I? Alright, so now if you look right here, this one's empty. It's in your household. This is the one that we just made. It's going to take up a spot here. If you delete it from here, then you are going to have to redo everything again. So don't delete it unless you really want to. And you can if you want to. I'm not going to. But you'll notice that over here, why am I frozen? Okay, there we go. So I don't really want to delete it. That's my settings. But over here I think this is basic number 2 that I've got. I've got 2 or 3 of them in here. I believe I said cancel. You're supposed to cancel when I tell you. Alright, so this is my basic settings, and I believe that I have at least one more, because I did this a couple of times. I did an updated one, and then I had my original. I think that was the original. Okay, maybe not. Alright, maybe I overwrote it. I can't remember. Anyway, you'll never have to touch them from here. I'm just showing you where they're saved at, and so that way you know that they're there. So don't delete them, because you may think, well, what is that? Do I need it? Yeah, you're going to need it. So just leave it where it is. Okay, let's say that you started a brand new game. Here we are. We're back at the very beginning, right when we started off. And I don't want to go through this whole hassle. I don't want to go through the whole hassle of setting everything up. So what I can do is I can just go ahead and click on my sim. As soon as I get past all those little welcome screens and whatnot, click on NRAS, go to story progression, go into general options, and now I'm going to import my settings. I'm going to bring them in. And see, here's the 3 settings I've got. These are the ones that I just used. I'm going to click on Save Settings. And in just a second, it's going to tell me all those settings have been imported. You're good to go. And you don't have to do any more setup at all. Everything we've done, now I could go to any game. I could do the same thing if I go to Hidden Springs and start off with a new character. I just click on them, hit Import Settings, and everything that we did here, it's already going to be done for you there. So it makes it so much easier. You only really have to do this one time. So guys, I hope that helps you. I hope it helps you understand how to set the mods up and how to get going. There's a lot of questions you're probably going to have. A lot of it is just kind of trial and error. You have to just play around with it, see what works for you, and see what is just, acceptable for you. You can, of course, delete those settings. You can change them up. You can have as many import settings as you want. So if you have like a different setup for like you want this setting for Island Paradise, but it's going to be very different from a setting that you might be playing in Appaloosa Plains. You can call it whatever you want, and then that way you know which one you're going to enter in. So this is my basic setup. It's what I want for every town, and then that way I can kind of change it, as I want to. If I want to start adding or allowing paparazzi, I know how to go turn them back on. If I want to allow some cats to be roaming around the world, I know how to turn that back on. So, it's just kind of up to you. But that's it. That's all there is to it. And of course, everything you do is going to be up here, so you'll kind of get pop-ups to show you exactly what you've done, and you can kind of read it through it and make sure, is that really what you wanted? And if it's not, go back in, change again, save again. But of course, you'll have to go delete that save settings that you imported. I would not export that until you know for sure that you are happy with that mod. You can do it, later on in the game after you've been playing for a while, and you may change a few things. You may add some things or take some things away, and then say, okay, now I've got the mod the way I really like it. At that point, you can click on your sim wherever they are. He could be an elder by that point, and you say, but now I've finally got the game exactly the way I like it. I wish I would have started this way. Click on him, export those settings, and now you'll have them, so the next time you start the game up, you will be set to go. Alright guys, I know it's a lot of information, it's a lot of stuff. I'm hoping this is better than the one that I did the original time. I hope you guys got something out of it, and if you did, please, remember, I didn't make the mods, so I can't really help you on some things, but I can tell you that the best thing to do is just get them in there. If they're working, play around with them, and kind of go from there. See what you get. So that's all I did. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm feeling 1,000 times better. You can tell I'm running my mouth without any issues. I haven't coughed a single time, I don't think. Maybe I have. I just didn't realize it. But LPs are starting back up. I'm actually in the process of sitting down to pull everything in and start recording. I got a lot of things going on. It's been a very crazy time for me, and in more ways than one. And so I'm getting going. I'm actually trying to work on it. So I will be sitting down and getting some stuff put together, and we'll get things rolling. And yeah, don't be surprised if you see Island Paradise coming back soon, at least in some form or another, or somebody moving to Isla Paradiso. I don't know. I'm just really enjoying playing in this town. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.